I'm pretty disorganized, and that was a big part of the inspiration behind Evernote. I thought there's a small group of people who are lucky that they enjoy organizing things and they kind of lead a productive, organized life, and I wanted to be productive without having to be organized. Our real motivation was just to build something for ourselves. We built 2 other companies that were making products for other people, and we'd sold those companies, and we said, okay, the third time around, it's so much work to build a company, let's just do it only for ourselves. So what do we want to use? And we decided that what we could all really use help with is being a little bit smarter, being a little bit better organized. So it came out of a real, personal need to improve that area of our lives. And luckily, pretty much everyone that we've run into since then also has a similar need. I don't think Evernote is a very original idea. I think in many senses it's kind of the least original idea in technology. We're going to use computers and phones to help you write things down and remember things and organize things. People have been trying to do that forever. But I think it's become a more and more acute problem. I think if you look at modern life, like the definition of modern life is you're just overwhelmed with this flood of details that are coming at you all the time, almost 24 hours a day. And we're all knowledge workers now. And I think what makes knowledge workers happy, what makes us feel good, is when we feel like we can kind of elegantly navigate through life. We think that the problem is more acute than it's ever been, and we wanted to build something that could help as many people as possible. For the past 20 or so years, this idea of hardware and software came about. And it's a new idea. It's only, for consumers, it's only maybe 20 years old. So you had 10,000 years of history of people making products that were just the same thing, and then just only recently you have got this weird split between digital products and physical products and hardware and software. And I think the split is going away. I think it's a temporary thing. I think it's fading before our eyes. In fact, I think over the next 5 years it's going to recede significantly, and in 10 years it'll just be gone completely. So I think 10 years from now, we'll have a hard time remembering what did we mean when we used to talk about digital versus physical and hardware versus software. It's just the same. It'll just become the same thing. So you will become completely surrounded by intelligent objects, intelligent surfaces, physical surfaces, digital information kind of all together as one thing. And we're just starting to see the beginning of that. I don't think mobile devices are a significantly new chapter. I think it's just part of an evolution of what it means to be human. And I think the change is going to continue to accelerate. I think we're actually on the verge of really gigantic change in how we think about leading our lives. Basically, for most of human history, the thing that was in scarcest supply, the thing that was missing, was factual knowledge. Like for almost all of our history and before, the reason why people made poor decisions most of the time was they just didn't have the information. They were missing the facts or missing the information. And that changed a few years ago, just within our memories. It changed with the advent of Wikipedia and the internet and Google, where the difficulty became not so much that you were missing information, that you just didn't have access to the facts. It was that you had you just didn't have it on hand. So the problem went from the availability of information to search. And so Google came about and changed the world, and I think made it a lot better because now you can search for anything. But even search, I think, isn't quite good enough, because I think right now we're seeing, we can search for everything, but there's so many options, there's so many choices, there's so many things to find that really searching is already too late. Like the next wave of technology has to help you. It has to figure out what you want before you know that you want it. It has to give you the information that you need to make a decision before you think that you need to search for that information. It needs to anticipate what you want to do. And that's what we're starting to see the beginning of, and I think it's going to develop very actively. And it's the major thing that we're working on at Evernote.